Okay, so we're just going to do example 2, and then that'll take up our time for the day. Write an equation for a line tangent to f of x is equal to 1 minus sine of x at x equals pi over 6. And so in order to write an equation for a line, we've seen these type of questions before, haven't we? But we'll always practice them again given new conditions. And that condition today is that we know the derivative of trigonometric functions. So I need a point on the line, and I also need my slope. So who knows what the point on the line is going to be? What's my x value? Pi over 6. Now, this is the big question. On the AP exam, they won't tell you, they won't let you use your calculator to come up with the exact value sine of pi over 6. You have to know how to do that. You remember how to do that? Unit circle. I'm going to give you a worksheet on this tomorrow, and you're going to have to roll through it pretty quickly. So we don't really have a lot of time. But pi over 6 is what in degrees? Do you remember? 30 degrees. And so it makes what kind of triangle? 30, 60, 90. Wow, he's on fire. So this is 1, so that'll be 1/2, and this would be the root of 3 over 2. Okay? And so is sine the y value or the x value? The y value. And so you can see that the y value is 1/2. So the sine of pi over 6 is 1/2. So you need to be able to do that basic triangle construction and be able to come up with the exact values. It would help if we practice that for just 10, 15 minutes, wouldn't it, Annika? Yeah. No, I'm just seeing in her eyes. I was seeing not a. I couldn't tell if she was like, yes, I already know that. Please move on to something I don't, or if she was like, I really don't remember that very well. Which one are we at? Okay, so we need to practice. You remember it, but not well. So it would be worth it to spend 10 minutes practicing it, right? And then we'll lock it up and you'll be good to go. Okay, so there's my point, pi over 6, 1/2. How do I find the slope? What do I have to do? Find the derivative. The derivative tells us slope. F prime of x is equal to, what's the derivative of 1? 0. What's the derivative of negative sine? Negative cosine. So I plug in pi over 6. Negative cosine of pi over 6. Is cosine the x value or the y value? The x value. So negative cosine of pi over 6 is negative root of 3 over 2. So I'm going to write this equation 2 ways so that you can see how it may be written on the AP exam. First of all, y minus y1, which is 1/2, equals m, negative root of 3 over 2, times the quantity x minus pi over 6. That is one way that it would be written on the AP exam. Another way is they would put it in a slope-intercept form. And for this class, you must put it in a slope-intercept form. That way you would be able to see both ways. So what I'm going to just do is distribute the negative root of 3 over 2. The y minus 1/2 is equal to negative root of 3 over 2 times x. And then it will be plus pi roots of 3 over what? 12. So in order to put that in slope-intercept form, I have to add 1/2. Or in order to have common denominators, I'm not going to add 1/2, but I'm going to add 6/12. So y equals negative root of 3 over 2 times x plus pi roots of 3 plus 6 over 12. So one is in point slope form, the other one is in slope intercept form, but it is exact value. And again, it requires us to know a little bit of trigonometry. And we will review that tomorrow because I know that although we remember it, we're maybe not great at it and we need to practice. Fair enough? Okay, so tomorrow we'll do a couple things. Number one, we'll practice those pieces, and then we'll get back to our some of our crucial limits that came up during the squeeze theorem, which we proved the derivative of sine and cosine. But for today, you're going to practice section 3.5, page 174, numbers 1 through 16, and 21 through 23. I copied off pages for you, and I know that you have a lot of homework coming up in your classes as people are starting off the quarter. You're definitely going to have a fair amount of homework coming up in this class. So this week is going to be a lot of work. So I'd stay on top of your stuff as much as possible. Sorry to do that to you.